Greetings, BBN. Otega Oweh had another 20-point performance at the NBA Combine. He's the BBN monster. What will this guy be like in the NBA? Let's get to the news. While much of the attention in Chicago was focused on names already established on the franchise's radar, the one who really made executives, scouts, and managers stop and observe closely was Otega Oweh. The former Kentucky player simply confirmed that his great debut at the NBA Combine was no fluke. After already drawing attention in the first practice game, Oweh returned to the court for a second appearance and delivered another top-level performance, definitively reinforcing that his name deserves to be among the most talked about in this pre-draft process. At the Wintrust Arena in Chicago, Oweh was once again the star. With an impressive 21 points, he finished as the game's top scorer, showcasing exactly the kind of offensive aggression that made him such an important piece during his time with the Wildcats. Even on a night when his long-range shooting simply didn't work, missing all 5 of his perimeter attempts, the number 00 found other ways to dominate the game, something that often separates good players from talents truly ready for the next level. Perhaps the most impressive thing was precisely that. Many athletes rely on their outside shooting to produce, but Oweh showed something that NBA franchises deeply value: the ability to impact the game regardless of the circumstances. Converting 50% of his field goal attempts and being practically automatic at the free throw line, with 9 successful shots out of 10 attempts, he showed maturity, emotional control, and an offensive reading far above average. And it wasn't just the points. Oweh also contributed with 5 rebounds, a steal, and an assist, demonstrating activity on both ends of the court even with Team Weem's loss. Oweh's performance gains even more weight when analyzed in conjunction with his debut. In 2 days of 5-on-5 training, Oweh finished the event averaging 20.5 points per game. Among all the players present, only Jacoby Gillespie from Tennessee finished with a higher average, registering 21.5 points. Being practically at the top of that list, surrounded by the main college and international talents eligible for the draft, is not just a statistical detail. It's a statement. For the Big Blue Nation, this represents yet another reason for pride. Oweh wasn't just another player who passed through Kentucky. He brought intensity, personality, and competitiveness to every minute on the court, and now he's showing professional franchises exactly the same DNA that won over the Wildcats fans. What he's doing in Chicago reinforces something many in Lexington already believed. This isn't just a college-talented athlete, but someone with real tools to build a career in the NBA. And now comes perhaps the most important step. After impressing executives during the Combine, Oweh begins a true marathon of individual workouts with league franchises, a perfect opportunity to further showcase his qualities in more technical and personalized environments. One of the most anticipated engagements should be with the Dallas Mavericks, an organization that will have the chance to closely evaluate everything he has been showing in Chicago. Projections are starting to react. After the Combine, analyst Jonathan Wasserman updated his mock draft and positioned Oweh at the 49th overall pick within the second round. But looking at what he delivered in these 2 games, it's hard not to imagine that this number could still rise. Because when a player produces 20 points in a debut, returns the next day, and delivers 21 with the same ease, the message sent to the NBA is clear. Otega Oweh didn't go to Chicago just to participate. He wanted to leave his mark. At this point in the calendar, few environments are as important as the AAU circuit, where much of the future of college basketball begins to take shape. It is precisely in this scenario that Mark Pope and his coaching staff are working tirelessly, showing that the Wildcats' focus is not only on the present, but also on building a solid foundation for the coming years. With the live recruitment period officially underway this weekend, coaches from across the country have spread to major events in the United States, but Kentucky made sure to be present at one of the most important stages on the calendar, the first event of the Nike EYBL season, held in Memphis. And Pope didn't arrive alone. Alongside him, two important members of his staff, Mo Williams and Cody Fuger, reinforced the seriousness with which Kentucky is approaching another high school recruitment cycle. The trio's presence in Memphis is no accident. The event brings together some of the most promising players from the classes of 2027 and 2028, many of whom are considered future stars of the national scene. For Pope, who since his arrival has made it clear that he wants to combine experience gained through the transfer portal with talent developed early in the program, this type of in-person observation has become a central piece of his strategy. Seeing players live allows for the analysis of details that statistics and videos don't always show: body language, competitiveness, communication, response to adversity, and, most importantly, how each athlete reacts when faced with talent of the same level. And on Friday, Kentucky left quite clear clues about which names could gain traction on the Wildcats' radar over the next few months. One of those observed was C.J. Rosser, a forward from the 2027 class who has been attracting attention for his versatility and ability to impact both ends of the court. Also under observation was King Gibson, a point guard whom many evaluators consider one of the most creative players of his generation, combining game reading, pace control, and ball-playing ability. Another name that remains firmly on Kentucky's radar is Marcus Spears Jr., a forward who had previously sparked interest and continues to be closely monitored by Pope and his team. The continuation of this observation may indicate that the Wildcats' interest is genuine and long-term, something that usually makes a difference in high-level recruitment competitions. The list observed in Memphis also includes Ryan Hampton, another point guard with great potential, Beckham Black, a name that has been growing nationally, Gabe Nesmith, a forward with an interesting physical profile for the modern game, Chase Lumpkin, a point guard who has been gaining ground on the circuit, and Paul Osiri, a center with physical characteristics that naturally attract the attention of elite programs. The most interesting thing about this process is to see how Pope seems to be conducting this cycle in a perhaps even broader way than the previous year. Instead of focusing attention on a small number of names at the beginning of the season, Kentucky appears to be expanding its evaluation field, monitoring multiple profiles in different positions to build a more complete picture before defining absolute priorities. This approach offers flexibility, allows anticipating market movements, and, above all, gives the Wildcats the opportunity to identify talent before their prices in the recruitment market skyrocket. With the whole summer still ahead, the trend is that many more names will appear on Kentucky's radar. New evaluations, new contacts, and new opportunities will certainly arise as the AU circuit progresses. But one thing is already quite clear. Mark Pope isn't waiting for the future to arrive in Lexington. He's already planning. Share your opinion.